Hi everyone, Great Power 60 here. Welcome to Tea with Me on Saturday. I hope eventually to be able to do some live Saturday Night Live chats with you so that we can talk about whatever. I've been very fortunate in the last little while to have an influx of viewers, especially with my confessions of a craft hoarder. Yeah, it's amazing how many of us are out there, and God bless us all. We have all the good intentions. Sometimes we come by this over the years from different sources or buying or, yard sales, whatever, and we end up thinking we're going to make something really great with whatever it was, and then we forgot whatever it is. By the time we get home, life happens, and all of a sudden we're filled with a lot of stuff, and that's not really what I wanted to talk about tonight. But for those of you who are new, thank you so much for subscribing and coming to my channel. I'm hoping that we'll have a little bit of fun, that you can laugh at me and maybe feel a little bit of fellowship in we're going through the same kind of things together. I had a whole list of things I wanted to talk about, and then I got busy this week. So every time I turned around, I have this right by my table here. Every time I had a great idea, I'd scribble it down, and then I'd write great idea and note, and here's a good example note. Tea with me tip: when we're shopping for an item, keep what we're buying, why we're buying it, in a notepad, or better yet, on your phone, so that you don't forget the reason for buying that thing. And that's my big mistake. My biggest mistake is going to Dollar Tree or going to Michael's or ordering from Temu, ordering from Amazon, because I've watched a video, I've seen what they've done, but I don't have that particular thing, whatever it may be, paper, tool, whatever. And I thought, that's a great idea. I really want to make that. I really want to do that. And then I would list it in my notes to shop. I would put down, blah, 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 item. But I didn't put the reason why I'm buying that item. And then, you get busy with life, and you're going here and you're going there, and you're grocery shopping, you're doing whatever. And then you get home with your stuff and you put it away. Maybe don't see it for a day or two, or if you're really lucky, you open it right away and you do whatever it was that you wanted to do with it. Chances are, for me, I would leave it in my craft room, sitting on my table there, and then go back to it, and then, now what did I want that for, and then I would put it away because I couldn't remember what I wanted it for. So maybe, note to self, take out my phone, don't only put the item, but put what it's for. Better close off all my things here that I've got going on. I had a lot of videos to videotape this week. I had a lot of work. I had a lot of things going on this week, and I found that I was scrambling to get some stuff done that I had made commitments to do. So, yeah. Hold on a second here. I have to pause for. All right, let's get back to it. Honest to God, I wanted to go through my notes because I wanted to cover. I had a comment on my Facebook from a relative who didn't realize I had said something about my grandsons. I think it was my birthday photo with three of my daughter's grandsons, because I was at my daughter's for my birthday. And she had mentioned, you don't have any granddaughters? And I went, nope, I've only got grandsons. And then an afterthought. An afterthought for me was, for someone who is blessed with boys only, no girls, boys, and someone meaning my, a daughter, a woman, she will always be queen. And what I was thinking for myself, being very selfish, no, I'm not, being the grandmother of grandsons, I will always be Grandma Queen. I will always be the matriarch of their life. And whatever I can share with them as a grandma, whatever that may be, I want them to feel that their grandmother was someone of importance, someone not to put on a pedestal, although we'd love that, but to be respected, to be loved and respected. And being the mother of boys, I told my daughter this after her second son, after the third one maybe, I can't remember, but I said, because I don't know if she was, she I don't know, did she know? I can't remember if she knew her first son, if he was a boy or a girl. Like, I don't know if she did that. I can't remember, but she did with the other two. And I wondered if she had been disappointed not to have a little girl. And I wondered if her husband might have been, because sometimes you want kind of one of each or something. I had one of each. I had my daughter and then I had my son. But I said to her, there's one thing about having all boys, is that you will always be the one and only woman in their life to influence their life. And you will always be queen. You will always be queen of your home. And that's really, really important, to give boys that influence, I guess, of what to expect from women in their life. For example, if you have a mother that is critical and miserable, I'm talking boys here. Girls, I have no idea, except that I had my own daughter, and hopefully taught both my daughter and my son street smarts, and because I was a single mom, and you can't shy away from things. But for boys, it's so important to have different personalities of women in their life, so that they know how to treat women, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I think it's important today that boys are not taught the wrong things in life. And I'm hoping, I think my grandsons are being raised very well, and that they will have a healthy attitude towards women. And I'm hoping that, being the grandmother and being the matriarch of the family, because there is only, we have no grandfathers. Well, one grandfather has passed away. The other grandfather lives on the other side of the country, so he's not really involved in their life. So to have two matriarchs, because my grandson's other grandmother, she is one character. She's very much a stay-at-home kind of mother, I think. Very sweet woman. I think she's wonderful. I think she's a wonderful, but she has a totally different personality than I do. And maybe it's because she had a husband for many, many, many years. They had that sort of family unit. She was, the wife and mother of the home. She didn't drive. She made the meals. She looked after, she did all the kind of motherly things. Whereas I was more, especially as a grandmother, I was single. I raised my children alone. I had a career, although she had a career as well, but not the same type of career. And a very independent woman, and very silly. And I would get on the floor and play with the kids and do all kinds of crazy things, where she was a little more cautious and a little bit more motherly, and but loving, very loving. Absolutely nothing. It's just our personalities are so different. I think that's why we get along so well. She's a wonderful, wonderful person, and she does so much for those boys. And I know she does get exhausted with them. Boys are boys, but they're getting older. But it's wonderful to share your life with your grandchildren, and to keep a little bit of a secret until they're old enough to understand. And I don't mean anything bad. I just mean when they would understand. Like, my oldest grandson is 16 now and rather curious about different things, and he is an absolute wonder when it comes to things. When I ask him to explain, he has always been the explainer. Even as a child, he was exhausting when it came to trying to explain a new game, because we would make up games as children. But as a 16-year-old, his interests are rather fascinating. And he was discussing math, which he's really, really good at. And he was talking about trigonometry to me. And he didn't know that I knew what that was. But it's fun to come out with those things. And when he's explaining something and you do understand it, which I did understand it, was fun, So I think it's I don't miss having granddaughters. I don't know. I don't know what it would be like to have a granddaughter. I have no idea. I know what it was like to be a daughter. I know what it was like to have a daughter. But to have a granddaughter, that must be an amazing relationship. And yeah. But it's like a woman who's never had children. You cannot explain, or a woman who's never had grandchildren. You can never explain they can imagine, but you can never really know what it's like to have children. You can imagine and sometimes be thankful at times when they're screaming, when they're little, screaming in the stores and screaming in the restaurants and misbehaving. That's when you're glad you never had children. But it's hard to explain the whole relationship thing, and my respect for my grandsons as they get older is widening, and I'm enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying allowing them to see the various roles that different women in his life play. His mother works, she stays at home most of the time, but she's a nurse and she works evenings, which is convenient because her husband is home overnights. She can sleep during the day when the kids are at school, that kind of thing. So it works out well, and it's not full time. She works a few days a week. I don't remember her schedules. I think she works three days a week, or 2 or 3 days a week, overnights. And the kids are used to that. Their mother works, and they're used to a grandmother who has been staying at home, and then they're used to a grandmother who is always on the go, and it has a busy life. And of course, for the last 8 years, was looking after her mother, and that was my role. And many times I couldn't visit because of Mom, but they're seeing all of these different matriarchs, and I like that. I like the fact that they're seeing a diverse women in their roles in life, and as we get older. There are some grandmothers at my age that are crippled with or suffering with various degrees of illness, and some of them don't have grandmothers because they've lost them too young and things like that. So I just think, I guess I find life fascinating that way, that we can share these different styles of life and show our young people the different ways a woman can grow from being a mother, a career mother, a single mother, a grandmother who works, a grandmother who stays at home, a grandmother who cares for her own mother as a caregiver, and the stresses and things that go along with that, and understanding it, and that whole, and with my mother involved as well as a great grandmother. In the early days when the kids were young, she was very vibrant and full of life and love, and spoiled them rotten. But as she forgot who we all were, they saw the different stages of life, and I find that absolutely fascinating. It wasn't quite what I was going to talk about tonight, but I thought it was rather an interesting subject to think about. Women, grandmothers my age who have granddaughters, maybe even great granddaughters, I don't know, have a different outlook than I do. They would be hoping that they would teach their daughters to be proud of themselves, and feel that the men in their life should respect them as much as they kind of respect. And there's a whole different dynamic when it comes to grandmothers and granddaughters. I know my mom and my daughter were really close and loved loved to go get pedicures and manicures together. They had grandmother and granddaughter days, and I envied that because I didn't, well, envied it but not liked it, because I don't like getting my feet done. I don't like getting money. I like doing my own nails. I don't like spending money on something I can do myself. I know it's a pamper. And I did go I think one time, there was my daughter, me, and my mother, and we all went to get a manicure. They had pedicures. Don't touch my feet. I mean, no, thank you. I don't know why, because I like foot massages, but no, yeah, it doesn't. Same with going for a body massage. It's like, no, thank you. But my mom and my daughter, oh my God, they relish in, like, spoil me, So I guess that's what a grandmother and a granddaughter share, is mutual love for certain things. The kind of mother-daughter things that grandmothers could do with their daughters, that would be a lot of fun. The shopping, the spoiling themselves at a spa, just having lunch together and talking about relationships, and sharing that kind of thing. I guess that would be rather fun. So, yeah. Anyway, that is nothing like what I wanted to talk about tonight. I totally went off. I think you can tell I'm a very, very proud grandmother. My boys are just perfect. They have all their own personalities. My son's 2 boys have their own personalities. My daughter's 3 boys have their own personalities. And I love each and every... There's a special little something about each and every one of them that just makes me beam, because they are different. They are all different, and they all have their own special qualities, and I love watching them grow. And now that I am a little bit more on my own, I can experience conversations with them, and spoiling them and loving them, and making sure they know that I love them with all my heart, because I do. But they are not my whole life. I have my own life. I have my own interests. I have my own thoughts. I have a life of my own. And I had a life before Mom came to live with me. My life became a caregiver. And it was hard sometimes. But my mom was loving, even when she didn't know who I was. I mean, sometimes she would say I'm her sister. Sometimes she would tell people I'm her mother. Sometimes, because she didn't know what those words meant really, but she tried to find some kind of relationship. But she knew I was with her all the time, and knew that I loved her. And just giving her a hug she would blossom. And I don't regret. I know it was stressful. I know it was hard. I know I had a very difficult time the last year, especially. I had a really difficult time. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. My mom was a very, very loving person. And people loved her. It was amazing how many people just cared for Mom so much, and I loved her too. So now I am getting my feet wet into the single life again, and to be honest, I am enjoying it, and I am feeling a little guilty about it in a way, because I had been alone for 30 years. I mean, living alone. I volunteered. I worked, and then I retired, and I volunteered and helped my friend clean houses for a while when she needed help. Volunteered at bingo hall, selling cards, helping people. Had a very, very large, I won't say friends, but I'll say acquaintances. A lot of them were very kind and generous, and some were very miserable and cranky. But it didn't take much to make them smile. And you know what? Sometimes when people are miserable and cranky, we don't know why they are, and sometimes it takes a little bit of sugar to kind of help them. Just taking a few minutes. I remember one lady, nobody would serve her. Nobody wanted to, because she always complained. And I was the only one who listened. And I was the only one after a while. I mean, when she first started going to the bingo, and I was serving her and selling her cards and serving her with whatever, we became good friends. Well, maybe not friends, good acquaintances, because I think friends is a different thing. Friends is someone that you share more of your life with. So acquaintance, she was a close acquaintance, and was always pleased, because I wasn't there every night. I think I only worked like 3 nights a week or something, but she always called me over when I walked in the door, and I would go and spend a few minutes with her just talking. And that's all she wanted, was someone to be kind, someone to pay attention. And that's what a lot of us grandmothers want. And maybe not just grandmothers, but women of our ages, the over 60s, over 50s, over everything. Sometimes we just need someone to talk to. And it only takes a minute of your time. And she actually started being nice to other people. So you never know in life what people are going through. Anyway, I've gone on and on talking about things that I had no plans on talking about. Sometimes those are good things, and sometimes they're bad. My tea has gotten cold. Here is my tea. It's gotten cold. I'm going to go warm it up there in a few minutes. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you will come again and join me again next Saturday, when we talk about something hopefully a little bit more interesting than me bragging about my grandsons. And yeah, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below, and I'll be glad to answer them. If there's anything you'd like to know, anything you'd like to talk about. I'm hoping in May, I kind of hinted at it before, I'm hoping in May to do two things. One, to do Saturday Night Lives at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm hoping to start in May. And the other thing I'm hoping to do is start memberships. And I'm just trying to get around some of the perks that will be worth your while if you should join. There'll be 3 tiers. It is totally voluntary. It's just something that I think is the next step in my channel's growth, is to start memberships and be able to share with you maybe some quirky things, some things that I don't put on, although I put almost everything on YouTube. But by having memberships, I'll be slowing down, because I've been doing videos daily, plus being involved in a collab on a Saturday and another collab on Sunday, which I enjoy, but it does take up a lot of my time, and therefore, I've got videos going up 7 days a week. So I'm thinking that in May we're going to cut back a little bit, and by having memberships, there will be videos that are available to only members only. We're going to have live chats with members only. There are going to be little perks and things that I wish to share. And we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping that I don't plan on doing any selling of digitals or that kind of thing. It's maybe a next step in a year or two, but right now I just want to share more of my journey with you, and I hope you'll join me. So thanks for joining me tonight, and we'll see you again next week. Take care. God bless. Bye for now.